know what we're excited about, so let's let Mr. John Casero from Riverside, California, come in and show us why we're all excited. It's happening to everybody in this program. It's just nothing like we've ever seen before, so we've been truly blessed. And take it away, John.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about...
If you have your sticky note up.
Yeah, got it. I got
Okay.
everything. Everything's going great tonight.
Well, good deal. Let's hear why everybody's so excited.
Okay. Well, I can
hurry.
I can tell you why I'm really excited, because of this trading program is not only fantastic, we're making money. Everybody makes money here. It's kind of hard to lose money here. But what I'm excited about right now is that look at this price for gold right now, right? This is the ask price for gold. Here's the bid price for gold right there, okay? Now that's 1233 and 1234. That's kind of close. Normally it's not that close. But what I'm excited about is this number over here. This is one Bitcoin, which is 1284, which means that the price of Bitcoin is staying above gold. That is earth-shattering. That is just the most amazing thing that's going on, because gold has always been thought of as the storehouse of value. And now Bitcoin is worth more than gold. That's not supposed to happen. So that's an indication of what we've got our hands on here, because people want this more than they want the other. Why? Well, because it's easier to use. Let's say you had a bunch of gold and you needed to move it from, I don't know, maybe you wanted to go down to Ecuador, okay? You wanted to get your gold down there. How are you going to do that? Used to be you could take this stuff across the border. Now they want to know, what are you doing with it? Why do you have all this gold? You must be a bad guy. You know, the presumption is that you're not doing anything right, you're doing everything wrong, and they want it because you're doing something wrong. Well, with Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about that. All you got to do is walk across the border with your card or your computer. You don't even need to take your own computer. You just, wherever you are down there, get another computer and get on and get to your account and move the gold anywhere you want. I mean, the Bitcoin gold, anywhere you want it. It's quite amazing. What we're going to talk about is a plan where you can get 8 Bitcoin a day. How much is that worth? Here it is. $10,279 right now. Okay? And we're going to show you how you can do that relatively easy, without a lot of risk, and how you can do this over and over and over again. And so let's get into the explanation so we can come back and play with this calculator. I got a calculator to play with. I like that. Good old Google. Okay. Bitcoin, GladiaCoin, how to double your Bitcoin in 90 days. And it should say or less, because that's what we do. All right, history of Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin started in 2008. Actually started before that. Somebody had written up the papers. White paper was actually published in 2008 and released to the public. Person said his name was Satoshi Nakamoto. And in 2009, the first transaction took place. Since then, it's been kind of a wild ride. Initially, I, as a professional planner, didn't want anything to do with it. I thought it was kind of a phony thing, kind of some kind of scam. I did not like the idea that there was nothing behind it, because I was always kind of growing up with the idea that the money was backed by something of value, so that the paper had value. That's the way it started. But now we're finding that it's not. Our money isn't backed by anything like that. It's backed by our personal labor. In fact, the IMF actually has contracts where they can kind of use us as labor to back the credit of the country. And I'm not happy about that. That was supposed to be done by our gold. Anyway, long and the short of it is, the way that everybody's thinking about money has changed now, since the economies of the world have kind of gone crazy. What happened? Well, India started it, I think. Greece actually started it with all the failures that they had over there in their financial system. I think they're on their 4th bailout right now, and things don't seem to be getting any better for them. And Italy is now in trouble in the EU. India one day woke up and it was like taking our 50 and 100s and 20s out of circulation. All of a sudden, those bills weren't any good anymore. They couldn't use them to buy anything. So they were left with these very, very small bills, and people were in real trouble. They lost 85% of their purchasing power. So what about all those bills and money that these people worked hard for and were saving all the time in order to get some kind of a future? It just evaporated unless you had your money in Bitcoin. People over there who had their money in Bitcoin didn't lose a dime. Then you look at China, and China's devaluing its money down, down, down. It's so worried, it's starting to investigate all of the exchanges over there, and it's real concerned about moving capital out of the country. And so they've been trying to put a lid on it and control it and do things like that. And what happens? Well, the guys that were trading Bitcoin over there, when they started doing all the devaluations, they didn't lose any money. They actually made money because every time the uh, devaluation occurred over there, the premium on Bitcoin went up. Now, what do I mean by that? You could buy a Bitcoin here for about $800, but you could sell her over in China for $1,000. And so that was a premium. So that's kind of making money on the deal. But normally what happens is if a storehouse of value actually values the currencies. So the purchasing power would stay the same for the real money. And in this case, it's Bitcoin, which is an artificial construct put together by computers and mathematics. So the whole world is changing and everybody is rushing to Bitcoin. You just got to plug into this. If you don't know about this stuff, I want you to subscribe to Crypto Coins News, Crypto Coins, plural, news. Subscribe to that little publication and they'll start getting you informed. You can also go over to CoinDesk. They've got a lot of research over there, a lot of explanations about how things work. And Cointelegraph is another one. But you're going to find more and more publications coming out because people need to know about Bitcoin. Therein lies an opportunity because nobody really knows about this stuff. And right now, you can trade Bitcoin by helping a trader get capital to do the trading and get part of that money for yourself. So in 2010, the value of a Bitcoin was $0.10 per Bitcoin. And I remember when they were trying to give this stuff away just to get people using it. And I just said, no. I was wrong. Everything is actually working out for the best doing it this way because this Bitcoin can do more than the gold can do, really. A lot of people still say, well, if it goes really down, I'm going to have my gold here and I want it with me. I want to keep control of it. Why are you going to use it? You think you're going to go out and buy gas with it? Do you think you're going to go down to the grocery store and you're going to be able to buy groceries with it? People are standing in line and they're all clamoring and they're riding down there and they're tearing the place apart and they're trying to get food because they don't have any money and they're trying to get gas. There's going to be fights, all that kind of stuff. You think if somebody sees you with your gold in your pocket that you're going to be getting home? It's just not that simple. If you got a gold coin, the country itself can call it back because the coins are owned by the country, not you. You get to use them. It's just like your dollar bill. It's not owned by the people of the United States. It's owned by the issuing party. And that happens to be the Federal Reserve, which isn't even a part of our country. Most people have never heard that before. Yeah, this is heresy I'm talking right here. But no, it's not. People are waking up. Things are not as you've been led to believe. And one of the reasons that you haven't paid attention to it was because you had a better standard of living than everybody else in the world did. That's all changing. You've got to get into what's going on here, and you've got to get your hands on Bitcoin. Now, the people haven't realized this yet. We have. That's why we're involved in looking at this stuff and doing the trading. We want to acquire as much Bitcoin as we can have. We can always, this is the cool part, we can exchange our Bitcoin for gold. There are companies right now that will give you absolutely pure gold for Bitcoin. Amazing, earth-shattering. Changes the whole way everything works in the world. And we're going to talk about some more about that. I'm getting a little carried away here. These are a lot of the companies that have been investing in Bitcoin. I didn't know that. I wasn't paying that much attention. Why were these companies that we know and love and use all the time investing in Bitcoin? Because the handwriting is on the wall and they know it. They know they're not going to be able to stay in control of the money system. You see, when I have a problem moving $20 from Australia to the United States, and we have a problem from a guy over in Latvia moving $20 down into Australia, and it takes days and weeks to do it, something's really wrong there. When they want your iris scan, and they want to see your retina scan, and they want your fingerprints, and they want your DNA, and they want your voice print, and they want your thumbprint, something's wrong there. Money was never supposed to be that way. The money was supposed to be valid for exchange and for goods and services and to pay any or all so-called debts. Well, we're waking up that the scam that they had us going through is falling apart right now. These companies may go out of business because we probably don't need them. In other words, when you're dealing with Bitcoin, you're dealing with individuals to an individual. You're not dealing with a money institution that gets in the way and wants to know about everything that you're doing. And oh yes, gives you permission to use the money or move the money from point A to point B. And if they don't want to give you permission to move your own money, oh, it's not yours, I forgot. Forgot to tell you that. Nowadays, Supreme Court rulings after MF Global failed, they took them to court because they took all the people's money that they had in that trading organization and they kept it, closed the doors. And they ruled that it was not the person's money who put the money in. You became an unsecured creditor. You invested that money in the company. And if that company went south, and this is all legal, by the way, and I'm bringing this up because people say, well, Bitcoin's a scam. Trading's a scam. This is a problem. How we know you guys are real? Well, for one, I don't really worry about that too much because you really can't lose any money here. You can, and I'll explain that, okay? But not to any significant degree that they can walk away with your money, because when you get a Bitcoin, you own it. It's yours. They didn't issue it. They can't control it. It's not theirs. They have no right to it. They can't take your coin away from you. It's yours. You have all rights and title and interest. And if that coin appreciates in value because of the financial mess around the world because people want it, it's your coin, not their coin. That's a very important fact here. Anyway, let's move on. In order to deal with these coins, though, you've got to have a wallet. It's called an e-wallet. So Blockchain is the largest company in the world that does wallets. Coinbase is another one. You can also get Bitcoins through an organization called Local Bitcoins, which is a website with, it's kind of a free-for-all platform where people, bid and offer and buy. You find people locally that will give you Bitcoin that they have. Zappo, Copay is another one. BitPay is an organization that has e-wallets and stuff, but they also provide debit cards for you. If you can get a Visa debit card from them, and you can spend your Bitcoin on that debit card just like you do your USD or whatever currency you deal in. Now, it's companies are waking up. Right now in the United States, there's 100,000 companies that will take Bitcoin in exchange for goods and services. But this is happening all over the world. We cannot look at the United States as being the only market. This is an absolute worldwide market. Worldwide phenomenal changes are occurring. The whole world is rushing to Bitcoin as a currency, but more than that, they're rushing to what's called the blockchain technology. That technology is going to change the way goods and services are delivered all around the world, and many, many people are going to lose their jobs because robots and these kinds of control systems are going to be replacing people's work. So why not get in here and get your hands on some Bitcoins so you can be sitting nice and pretty with a nice fat Bitcoin account, and you don't have to worry about it. And matter of fact, you can hire somebody to come in and shine your shoes, just like we did in Vietnam. Okay, Bitcoin trading, that's what we're going to talk about here. Essentially, these guys are buying low and selling high. But it's even better than that because they use things called options, and they use things called arbitrages. And those are kind of fancy words for buying low and selling high. But they do it on a scale that's huge. It requires a lot of capital. And that's why they're able to get phenomenal returns, because they use computers to do this stuff. You couldn't do this if you were just one person. You could do some trading, but you couldn't do it to the level they're doing it. But computers can execute transactions. And that's the thing about Bitcoin. It doesn't recognize people. It doesn't look at people at all. It looks at machines, it looks at computer code, and your refrigerator can own Bitcoin. Your watch can have Bitcoin. Your car can have Bitcoin. And there are going to be different kinds of coin for that. There'll be some people Bitcoin coin, and there'll be other coins that'll work better for cars and stuff. If you're driving down the freeway and you got a toll booth, you don't have to stop anymore. You go park past it, boom, automatically debits the Bitcoin account from the car. Okay, pretty cool, huh? Other word on that too, though, let me tell you something. A lot of people think this is really cool that all these cars are going to be driving themselves. Well, just you remember, they know where to go home. If you don't do something that you don't get that thing oil changed right, or you don't pay that registration or something, the car just may go home. You may get up in the morning and that car may not be there because it drives itself. It doesn't need you. That would be a shock, wouldn't it? Or maybe you forgot to make that child support payment and somebody wants to talk to you and you're off your way to work or you're on a vacation and you think you're going to go have a good time fishing in Canada or something like that. And the next thing you know, you're down at the local DA's office wanting to know where the payment is. So much for self-driving cars. Anyway, Bitcoin can cooperate in that too. All right. The company itself is considered just a computerized platform, and it works with the digital economy that's being created. There's a whole economy being created around Bitcoin that you're not even aware of yet. And until you start looking into it, researching and paying attention to what's going on, you're not going to know about it. The rise of the cryptocurrency exchanges, what are associated with the miners, are what makes this all possible, because now they have a place that we can go and buy and sell Bitcoin. We have a way to transmit that through the exchanges to other people and locations around the world, but it's all done through computers. It doesn't need a bank, so we don't have all the expense of a bank. You know, you go down to get a cashier's check or even a money order at a bank, it's $8 to $12. You want to send a wire, it's $25 and takes a couple days. Not here. You can send $1 around the world instantly, as easy as you can send $100 billion around the world using Bitcoin. The people here are specialists in Bitcoin trading. They're also involved in other programs, Forex type stuff and other trading. They also own their own platform. They generate software programs for other companies as well. This is stuff that I've been told. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, but from the way this thing runs and the simplicity of it, I'm impressed. They obviously know what they're doing. I have worked in a lot of programs the last few years, and nothing has been of this caliber. It just works, and they do what they say they're going to do. They deposit money into my account every single day, every day, every day, every day, just like clockwork, okay? But because this thing exists, and because of the status in the economy, and the fact that nobody really understands yet that everybody must have Bitcoin, this creates a worldwide opportunity for you to get involved. What do you have to do? Do you have to go to school and get an advanced degree and learn how to do programming? No. Do you have to invent something and go out there and sell it and everybody wants to buy it, like an iPhone or an iPad or something like that? Everybody's got to have the latest technology or that new invention that you just came up with? No. What do you have to do? You have to put some money with the company for trading. And we'll talk about that amount too, and we'll get that when we start talking about the plans, because my opinion of how to do that has changed a little bit, and I'll tell you why I think that. And it's because of my experience in the financial planning world. And my own experience at doing this, the way I started. I've completely had a 180 about how to do this, and I'm going to tell you all about it tonight. Okay, so you guys are lucky. Okay, exclusive benefits. They guarantee to duplicate your Bitcoins in 90 days. That's not really it. They allow themselves 90 days, but the point is what they really guarantee is to double your Bitcoin. So if you double your Bitcoin in 45 days, isn't that neater than having it done in 90 days? See, you're not restricted here. You've got an acceleration clause in there that says, all we're going to do is double your Bitcoin. People here are doubling their Bitcoin every single day. They put 4 in, they take 8 out. They put 4 in, they take 8 out. You know, it reminds me of those old commercials with a coffee when you hear these percolators, you know, pop, pop, pop. You hear the stuff percolating in the thing. That's what it is. You put it in, it percolates out. It's amazing, just truly amazing. And it's completely automated. You put your donation in, this thing works, the trading is completed, they credit the Bitcoins to your account, and you're done. They said, do you want to do it again? Yeah. Why wait and double your money every 90 days when you can do it 365 days a year, right? Right? You think you can get a little more money there? We have one fellow here that says he's on a tear to get 30 million this year doing this. And he's doing it too, because he's taking more than one position. You don't want to do that without talking to somebody about it. You know, it takes a little bit of work to do that, but not tedious activities. You do not have to go out there and hold meetings. You can if you want. You do not have to chase people all over the place. All you do here is show people what's going on and what we're doing. And there are plenty of people that are giving you all the information and letting you see their earnings. They're showing you. They're showing you their back offices. They're showing you that they're actually receiving the payments that they're getting. I was talking to a fellow today. I was in the insurance business. And, you know, one of the things we talked about in the insurance business, and a lot of people went into it because they wanted renewals. The idea was that the person would buy a policy, they'd hang on to it for their lifetime, or they'd buy something and, like medical insurance stuff, and every time the premiums went up, you get a little more commission hit on that thing for a renewal. Well, that doesn't really exist. So these guys are always chasing new products and chasing new clients all the time, and they're having to run pretty hard. Plus, the commissions have dropped dramatically on that stuff, and now they're having to do other things. This particular fellow also became an enrolled agent, and he does income taxes in order to find clients. Well, you don't have to do that. You have to be a multi-level marketer that has to talk to 1,000 people, and you have to have funnel pages, and you have to do all this stuff. Yeah, you can do that if you want. I don't. I just talk to people. I'm mano to mano, heart to heart. I just, man to man. You just show them what's going on, because I have all the data right in my phone, because all the payments that are made come right into my phone. And you get on the group, the WhatsApp group, and you can see all the postings by a lot of the leaders in the company that have done a really fantastic job of just spreading the word. That's really all you have to do. That's not tedious. And in order to renew, what do you got to do? They give you a notice and says, hey, we doubled your money. You want to do this again? You have to click the button and say, yeah, and start it over. That's it. That's all you got to do. Go to the golf course. Go play with the kids. Go fix a car. Do whatever you want to do. But it all revolves around the fact that they give you daily payments. They return 2.2%. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Every day into your personal blockchain account, whatever it is. Uphold or Coinbase or whatever it is. And any of the referral fees that you get for referring people also go in there. So we got an international presence. We have an optional binary network where you can refer people to the plan, and you get anywhere between a 5% and a 15% referral fee that's paid daily the date that they come on. It all happens in real time. There's no delays. Every 24 hours, everything is posted and your account is squared away. There's nothing simpler and easier to use. It's just an automatically running system because the trading is automatic, right? Everything is done, everything gets paid, calculated, and we start another day. It's just nice. Okay, so the basic bottom line is GladiaCoin is committed to doubling your Bitcoins in 90 days or less. Once that's been achieved, you get 24 hours to say you want to do it again, and you're going to want to do it again. And you got to renew at the same plan or the higher plan. What does that mean? Well, it's the amount of Bitcoin that you put into the program. If you start with 10% of a Bitcoin, you're going to be growing very slowly. If you start with 4 Bitcoin, you're going to grow very well and very fast. And that's really the sweet spot. Okay, so there's 2 ways to generate Bitcoin. You can do it passively, where you just put money in, kind of like a bank. It's kind of like a bank CD. You put the CD in, 90 days later, they give you the interest earnings on the amount of money, and they ask if you want to do it again. Also, insurance companies have products that they call guaranteed annuity contracts, guaranteed interest annuities, where they put the money in, money earns whatever it earns. They tell you 90 days, a year, 5 years, whatever it's set up for. Later, it's over. Do you want to renew again? Here's your money. Do you want to take your money, or do you want to put it into another program? So you can do whatever you want with it. That's how that works. Only we get the acceleration clause of doubling the money, and we also get a referral fee. If you go down to your local banker and you take your friend in there and say, hey, Jim, you met him at the Kiwanis Club or one of the other clubs that are around, and met him out on the golf course, and your friendly banker down there that where you went to school with or something like that, you bring these people in, and you introduce them to your friendly banker, and the friendly banker is going to help them get a loan or do this or do that. And then he says, well, thanks a lot, man. Guy's a great guy, isn't he? He looks at the people, he's just one of the best guys. That's it. You walk away. Not here. They say, man, you're a great guy. Actually, they don't say anything to you. You know what they do? They just pay you the cash. How's that? Is that loud enough? How do you think it feels when all of a sudden you see the points piling up in your back pocket back there, because you thought enough of your friends to bring them over here and help them get ahead, just like you're trying to get ahead, right? I say that's pretty sweet. And you can enjoy it, and you can look at it. You can pet the numbers on your computer screen, and you can think about it. And you can say, boy, gee, if I just referred a few more people, I'd have my car paid off. Well, refer a few more people. What do you got to do that? You just have to open your mouth and show them what's going on. That's it. Some people say, I can't talk to anybody, John. I'm telling you, I just get the goosebumps. The hives. I get those hives all over me, and I just can't talk to anybody. You know what? You're crazy. You do it every day. You're talking to me right now. You know what happened to you the other day when that guy ran you off the road? We heard about that for a week. You couldn't shut up, man. You kept telling everybody. You were talking to anybody that listened to you. Hell, we're sitting in the restaurant there trying to eat my bacon and eggs, and you're so loud, everybody in the room heard you. What do you mean you can't talk to anybody? Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the way it goes? Same thing happens when something really good happens. Ah, ah. I mean, I've even seen people stand there and scream. They couldn't have any words. They were just screaming at the loud. Everybody could hear them. Everybody turns. What's going on over there? You know. And then everybody starts telling, oh, she just got this. She just won the lottery. She got $50,000, and she's still screaming, and she's stamping her feet, and she's jumping up or down, and her hair is shaking, and she's turning colors, you know. And then she just can't take it anymore, you know. And then everybody goes, oh, congratulations. And then your cousin Joe calls and calls, you know, he becomes your best backslapping buddy. He's got great plans for that money that you just got your hands on or inherited or something like that. So what you do here is you tell people, but you do it in a nice way that they don't get too excited where they think you're going to be giving them all the money. They got to do something themselves, which means they need to refer people and they need to put some of their own money in here in order to get it. Okay, so we have passive earnings every day. We have binary referral fees, and all that means is that you can get more Bitcoin. You don't have to wait your 90 days. You can actually double your money every single day here. Okay, this is what it looks like. There's you, right there in the middle. See the big YOU? That's you. You got a left side and a right side. Everybody does. So you must have, in order to receive the binary referrals, you must have one personal referral on your right side here, your left side, and you must have one on your right side. That's it. Now you're qualified to receive referral money from anybody that you refer to the plan. Does it take out of their money? No, not a bit. It takes nothing from anybody. And the payments are just automatically made to your account, and it shows that you are earning more money. You see, in your back office, you got a little green bar back there, and that little bar tells you what % of goal you are at. You might be at 10% of goal today, refer a few people, and all of a sudden you're at 60% of goal because you got some more money in the account, which is going to make you double faster. This is that simple. It's not complicated. So every time a team member doubles their Bitcoin, see down here, and continues the same plan or upgrades their plan, you get both the daily accumulation and the binary percentage. Now, why is that important? Because you want to keep this team that you're building over here, because you can use it over and over again. So people that started with some Bitcoin, could be 1 Bitcoin, could be 100 Bitcoin, could be 10% of a Bitcoin. But of 50 people that did that, they all doubled their money, all 50 doubled their money, and they all continued at the same percentage. And if they do that, then they get to retain this team of people that they built up. And you know what? You get paid all over again if you renew your contract. And so that's how they're doing this thing. Now, if you decided you didn't want to renew and you walk away, you break the ties that bind you here, okay? You're not there anymore. You're not in the referral path. This thing operates like clockwork every single day. In order for you to get that money, you got to be there. How are you going to be there if you don't renew your contract? Well, why wouldn't you? You just doubled your money, and it's all in your back wallet. It's not in the company. They're not holding it. They've already given it to you. It's pretty cool, right? So all you do is renew it. You know, you put in 4 Bitcoin, you double it in one day, you take your 4 out and you set it on the table over there, and you use the 4 you just earned and you put it back in, and now you're working on the house money. You don't have any risk at all. Everything is gained from that point on. Pretty neat, isn't it? Anyway, this referral team can go on to infinity. And you only need a referral team large enough to produce about 50 Bitcoin every day in earnings. Postings in the amount of Bitcoin, because when people come in, it's all in Bitcoin, right? It's not in USD. This wouldn't work in US dollars. It has to be in Bitcoin. Okay, let's go on. So you got to choose your plan, and these are the basic plans for people who are tiptoeing. And the top plan is Spartacus 4 for that. The first plan is for the guy that just wants to get a position and he just can't raise the money for one reason or the other. You know, he just wasn't able to collect enough cans this week in order to go down and, plastic bottles in order to turn them in for recycling. He just couldn't get enough to get up to a 0.1. But he's got the 0.05, 5% of a Bitcoin, and he can come out and get a position. He doesn't get any doubling, none of that is part of it. He just is able to receive 5% of the binary if he refers to personally referred, and then from that on point, he gets 5% of the binary. And that gets him some money so he can begin stepping up. Of this level of plans, the sweet spot is the half a Bitcoin. You double the money in 90 days and you receive 9% of the binary team that you're referring. You can earn 1 Bitcoin per day. You can earn 30 Bitcoin per month with that plan. Now let's go to the better plans here. And they are better plans. This is why I'm bringing it up this way. Spartacus 7 is where you want to be. That's where you want to go. Now, when I did it, I was cautious. I wanted to prove the system. And it hurt me. I would be far ahead had I come in and put the 4 Bitcoin in and used that 15% binary. You see that? See, the plan 0.1, the lowest plan is 5%. This is 10% more. This 15% binary. As I built up on the smaller amount of money that I put in, it wasn't very much money. And I was only getting a very small percentage of it. I was losing compound money that I should have been getting. If I had gone in with the 4 Bitcoin up front, I'd have been receiving the 15% on all those people that I was bringing in. I would have doubled much faster. I'd be way ahead. And in this plan, you can get up to 8 Bitcoin a day and 240 Bitcoin a month. Do the math on that thing, you guys. Think about that. That's some serious coin. So right now, the Bitcoin's at 1284, right? So 8 Bitcoin today at 1284. 1284 times 8 is $10,272. How's that, a good payday? I say it's doggone good. And that's not that hard to do. This is where the business really begins to fly, right here. Now, what's your level of risk here? Can you lose any money here? Yeah. Let's say that you put in your 4 Bitcoin and it takes you 90 days in order to double it. Compared to the guy who comes in and starts referring people in and starts doubling his money every day, every other day, every 2 days, or every 3 days, or something like that. Do you think that there's a possibility the company could be shut down in those 1 day, 2 day, 3 day scenarios compared to the 90-day scenario? The odds of the company shutting down in those early days would be nil, very little. Is there a greater chance the company could be shut down for some reason in 90 days? Yeah, sure. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing the company accelerate. We're seeing more people coming in and making more and more money. There's no hesitation to get the payments. It's all working like clockwork. It's working perfectly. So the sooner you get in and the more money you put in, the less your risk is. Now, as soon as you get the first double, you're in. You can take the money out and put it back in a bank. Put it back in a bank where you're dang sure going to lose it, because every fiat currency always goes to zero. And these guys got a lot of plans for your money, so you want to make sure they get their due, right? Yeah, not me. I don't want any part of it anymore. So it's here. You're doubling. You can double every day, and this is where one of the guys is doing this every day. He's got 3 positions. What we didn't talk much about, I didn't think about it there at the time, was that when you come in, it's always best if you take 3 positions. You take 1 position at the top and you take the 2 immediate positions directly below you. And that way, when you build the team, you're building the outside legs there on the rooftop of the binary, and you're right at the top of both of those. So once you have your top position maximizing 8 Bitcoin a day, it doesn't make a lot of sense to continue to build that part of the team. What you want to do is pick one of the positions below you and get that one working. Now remember, you already built that. If it's on the right side, you've already built that team. That right side over there is yours. So all you got to do is pull off on the inside leg on that position that you own and get that one kicking out 8 Bitcoin a day. Okay. Then you do the same thing on the other thing on the other side. So now instead of 240 Bitcoin a month, you get 3 times 240 or 720 Bitcoin per month. Well, do the math on that one. Right now it's at 1284. So 1284 times 720 Bitcoin every day. This is scary. I don't know if I should even tell you. I think you ought to do the math yourself. I'm not going to say the number. But what do you have to do that? You have to be able to open your mouth and want it and just tell people what's going on and give them the opportunity to say, I don't want to do that. I don't think it's any good. I don't want to participate in that kind of thing. They have the right, but you know better. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this thing. And that's the way you should do this thing. If you absolutely can't and you want to get started, then start at the lower levels and work up like we did. You will get there. We did. We got there in, how many days was it? I don't know, 16 days, something like that. We started February 9th, and we're already at cycled on Spartacus 7 once, and we're already about ready to do it again. And it seems like every day it gets better and better. And I'm telling you, that 15% binary payment makes all the difference in the world. Plus, we're exposing it to more and more people, and that's key too. And as you build your team begins to accelerate, and it goes faster and faster and faster. And you can't shut it off. There's too many people that have been hurting all these years because of the economy and the way things are running. And they want to get ahead. They want to find some way to protect their families and pay their bills and actually have a life, right? And control their future. Why can I say control your future? Because you own the Bitcoin, not the other people, the government. This is yours. This is something you actually can say, that's mine. Instead, the government says, well, that money's mine. Or the bank says, that money's mine. We're sorry. We have to pay these foreign contracts on all these derivatives that we put them out there and we sold them to the guys. We got to cover their losses. We don't have to cover your losses. I don't want to play any part of that game anymore. That's over for me. Why? Because we can do this on our own. We can build our own economy. We don't have to worry about what they're doing, and that's exactly what's happening in the world today. And you got to wake up and smell the coffee, really, or the milk, or the lattes, or whatever turns you on in the morning. But you really got to get with it and start doing your research and see what's going on here, because you have a very limited amount of time. What are you going to do when these coins are in excess of $1 million a piece? How many coins are you going to be able to get? Right now, one guy here, William, has said that he's on pace right now with the positions he has. He expects to do 30 million in Bitcoin this year already. Yeah, that's very possible and very doable. And people are coming into this program taking 7 positions, 8 positions at 4 Bitcoin. Don't think small here. Think big and get moving on it, because right now is the opportunity that we all missed back when Bitcoin first came out, but we didn't see it then. We do see it now. So what do you got to do to get started? Very simple. Just choose the plan that is suitable for you, depending on what your feelings are, what your goals are, whatever. Pick the plan and start. Get with the person who referred you. Get with that team of people that you're working with that are around you, and start letting people know and start building your teams on a local basis, and join the rest of us. Now, this plan, because it's a binary, does produce a pretty good sized amount of spillover in teams. So everybody working together, and everybody in that team, in that line, gets a credit. If somebody comes on with 1 Bitcoin down the way, everybody in the line gets credit for it, and it doesn't compress out. Okay, so you can if you start off slow, you can catch up and you can get credit for that Bitcoin. So don't hesitate. Get in here with both feet and get moving. Okay, let's open it up for questions and comments. And if anybody's out there wants to talk about their experience, you should let other people know what's happening with you.
Okay, yes, this is the best program I've ever seen. We have somebody that wants to show guests the proof. And I want to backtrack here, because John said he was hurt because he didn't jump in at that Spartacus 7 right away. Well, I was very skeptical. We work together. We're associates, affiliates, and it was my fault, guys. I was like, no, man, I don't want to do a program. So we came in at 0.05, and then we stepped up to Spartacus 2, and then we started February 9th. And, you know, I saw $78 come in the first few days, and then it went to like 100, and then it jumped. And then we had an $1,800 day, and then we went Spartacus 7 a week ago Friday, and we already renewed our Spartacus 7, which is very easy. I mean, it's so easy to do. We renewed that all out of our surplus. So if I have any regrets, it's like, yeah, man, we didn't dive in, you know, faster than we did. But this has been so much fun, a lot of fun. Is there any way that we can show some proof, John?
Well, we can, and we've already got it in the videos. So one of the things that I wanted to do, and before we got involved, was I sat down with a couple people that were doing this already, and I wanted to know that that money was actually being deposited into their personal accounts, because that was the most important thing. Anybody can show me a statement back on a computer someplace in a back office and say that that's the money that they've gotten, but I wanted verification of it. So we actually made the videos for you so that you can see, and that's what I'm using to show people and prove that the money is actually going into the account. So what we did was we traced it right down to daily statements. You get a statement every day in your back office, and the red numbers are the numbers that have been paid to the person. So what we did then, we had them open up their blockchain accounts, and we went in and we took this amount here, and we verified that it was actually paid to this guy on the same day in his personal account. Then we went to the next one, we verified that one. Then we went to the next one, we verified that one. And we didn't do it just once. We did it a couple times, 2-3 times. And those videos are done for you so that you can see that. That's what they're there for. That's the proof. If
Yeah,
that's
you
not
can.
good enough, then you shouldn't do this program. It's not for you.
If they want to see those videos, I keep them on YouTube. Our team is called GladiaCoin Elite Global Leaders, and I've got several of them on YouTube. So we have Sergeant Jim Ram in the house tonight. I'm going to pick on you. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm just pleased as punch.
Are you?
I got in on the 17th of February at Spartacus 5, and in 11 days, I think it was, or 12 days, made $787 and was able to upgrade to Spartacus 6 last Thursday. On Friday, I got $450. Yesterday, I got $750, and it's just going and going and going. Got about $90 today. It was a slow day, but still, it's coming in. And I've made almost $2,000 in 2 weeks' time, and I'm just getting started. I've got a whole bunch of people that are in my pending things, about 9 Bitcoins worth, and more and more coming on every single day. And I'm showing it to, I was at an ice cream shop today, and the 2 people working behind the counter both got business cards. And one of them says, "Hey, I've been looking at Bitcoin and I'm interested."
All right, all right. That's
it's frank.
Yeah, people are interested in it. A lot of them don't really realize what it is. You know, Home Depot does take Bitcoin, and I walked in there one day and I asked people, like, you know, how do I pay for this with Bitcoin? And the people behind the cash register didn't know what I was talking about. And they weren't oldie guys. You know, these were young kids and stuff that use computers every day. You know how I know? So I said, "Are you guys on Facebook?" "Oh yeah, we're on Facebook." Okay. They didn't know what Bitcoin was.
Well, Americans are a little slow, but this has been going on all over the world. You know,
Sure.
Europe is really down with it, and you know, there's so many countries that are actually turning to Bitcoin.
Listen, speaking of proof, too, you know, we have those WhatsApp groups, the Spanish one and the English one, and people there are posting their daily earnings. They're taking a screenshot of their cell phone, because this works. This is designed to run on the cell phone. I mean, because a lot of the people, 2.5 billion people in the world, are not banked. They don't have any banking relationship, but they do have a cell phone and they don't have a computer. So this has been designed to do that. We know for a fact that, because I heard the CEO say it himself from MasterCard, that their goal is to reach all 2.5 billion people who are unbanked. And that's talking about heads of household. That's not talking about wives and brothers and sisters and, you know, cousins and uncles and kids. That's just the heads of households and the families that are counting. There's a massive number of people. What do you think Bitcoin is going to go to when those people find out about it? You know, right now, if they transferred 1% of the asset base in the United States into Bitcoin, you're looking at a price of $1 million a coin. There's only 21 million coins, and there will never be 21 million in circulation. There's 16 million now. So it's just, this is designed to be a very, very strong currency and a storehouse of value, economic value. And what is that? What is it storing? It's storing the essence of your life. Because what do? You get up every day, you're alive. You then take that essence of your life, which you have a limited supply of, and you do something with it, and you generate through your labor a living to pay for yourself. It's a crime for people to do what they're doing to us. We go out and we work for dollar bills every day here, and those things are worth less tomorrow than they were today. Now, there was a period of time in Argentina and down there where the people actually had to go send the wives and collect their pay every single day because the inflation rate was so high that if they didn't go to get it today and buy groceries today, they might not be able to pay for them tomorrow. You know, we're going to see some really strange things go on here. And the only way to protect yourself is to have something that's going to be available that you can use that's going to have a storehouse of value, and that's going to be Bitcoin. It's already proven itself. You know, this is nothing new. You can go look at the news reports. Go look at Reddit. Go start reading some of these news sources that are outside the mainstream where all these people talk about this stuff.
Well, and my favorite is Andreas Antonopoulos. You can go look at his YouTube videos too. We have a question in here, and they are asking, is there a way to roll over funds from a 401k or investment without a penalty? And then,
okay, let's answer that question.
Somebody else said, take your money out slowly and put it in your 401k. Why is that not a good idea? What's happening to 401ks all around the world?
401ks are storehouses of dollars where they control you. First off, what they do is they've transferred the risk of the building your own retirement plan to you, away from the company. Before, when Congress put this whole stuff together, it was to encourage companies to give them a tax break to build pension plans, which were called defined benefit pension plans plus profit sharing plans. And so they decided that those liabilities, the companies just didn't like it because they weren't funding them all. The law was written so that they didn't have to fund them all because of business needs. So what's happened is most of the plans that are like that are all underfunded, which means they'll never pay the pension. So they had to get rid of that plan. So the next thing they came up with was the idea, well, you know, nobody stays with one company for 30 years anymore. It's because they encourage you to not to. So they came up with the idea of a account in which the employee would control, so he could move from job to job. Well, they also got rid of the risk of having to fund that pension, and they turned you into a fund manager. What do you know about fund managing? Nothing. So you assume the risk, and then further, they limit the funds that you can even choose and what you can put in that plan. And then they don't want you to have too much money, by the way. So they set it up so that you can't take the money out of the account without all these penalties. Depends on your age, it depends on the amount. And if you are really successful, they even have an excess earnings tax they'll hit you with when it comes time to take that pension out. Yeah, they really are doing everything in your favor. Let me tell you something. What is the penalty going to be when they crash the economy and the dollars in your 401k plan not only cannot be gotten out, nobody wants them because they're worthless? Now what's the penalty? My personal advice, this is me as a planner, I'm telling everybody, get your money out while you can. Get your money out while you can. I don't care what the penalty is. If you're worried about an income tax situation, you know, take it out now. You don't have to worry about paying it for 14 months, 15 months, even with extensions. And even then, you can just blow them off and not pay them for a while. You know, it doesn't really matter. You're going to make so much money here that the tax cost and the penalty cost you are trying to avoid is going to inhibit 20 to 30% of the gain that you're going to get here. You've got to sit down and pencil this out. This is where I used to make my money all the time. People would come in with these questions and I'd have to put it on paper so they could figure it out. But I'm just telling you, you don't know when they're going to pull the plug. They've already got the legislation in. They've already done it in 8 different countries. It's called the bail-ins. I'm going to tell you about a famous one. The Greeks, Cyprus. They've already taken them. They've taken money out of their accounts. They did it in Ireland too. They did it in a couple other countries, small countries. You didn't hear about them. They're going to do it here. And if most of the pensions, even government pensions, are going to go sideways, teachers' pensions, Teamsters' pensions. We've already talked to Teamsters. They've been told, well, you got 10 more years of payments in their pension fund. Go look up the United Airlines bankruptcy. All these guys were retired. They were living high. They had great pensions. They didn't have to work. They filed bankruptcy, dumped the pension. People that were getting $4,000 a month now are getting less than $1,000. They had to go back to work. Don't leave your money where the government can control it. Get it the hell out. Screw the penalty. Just get it out. It's better than paying that little penalty and you be in control of what's left than not getting it at all. And that's the risk you are really running by not getting it out.
Thank you. Thank you for that explanation. Who else do we have? I'm going to pick on Luke. Where are you? Luke. You still here? Oh, yeah. Hey, Luke.
Mute me.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Yeah? If
really good.
I was any happier, I don't know what I'd do with myself.
Yeah. I started about a week ago, that whole 90-day thing. Unless you're a rock, that's not going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm on pace to be doubled in 1 week. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to do even better than that. But it's starting to really snowball now, and I'm gonna just try everything I can to get up from the position I'm in. But I've got 3 positions working, and I'm just gonna keep hammering my first position and try to get that up to level 7 and go from there. But there's just people just coming in from everywhere, and all the secret guys. If you want to know any kind of secret, it's just this. Get people to this webinar and drag them, and whatever you need to do, get them here. And let John and Kathy and William and all the leaders share what's going on. And people just join. I haven't had somebody that attended this webinar not join. So just get people here.
They can use those videos that we did of the back office stuff. I've had some people come on, watch the video, and 10 minutes later they call and says, I'm in. I said, you watch the videos? I saw enough. I'm in.
But by the way, John, you need to have this one up on wherever you're putting it, back in the back office there in Facebook group. Yeah, we want to have this one from tonight because it was very well. You guys are on top of it.
I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
All right. Yes, we try to get all the recordings up. We're running a little behind, though, because we've been so busy. We have people all over the world that we're talking to day and night and day, different time zones. So we apologize for slacking. We're trying. But yeah, that's so exciting. Luke, I mean, his second day he's making money. He already had like 20 people sharing this with and had them all in. And I mean, this is one that everybody's making money with. So I'm very pleased that we decided to do this because I was very, very skeptical. And who else do we have in the house tonight that would like to say a few words or any questions at all? Now is your chance to ask away. Okay. We have Steve wanting to understand the binary. We earn a percent depending what level we are at on everybody in our binary below us for their upgrade, correct? Do you understand that question?
No, I don't.
Okay, let me read it again. I want to make sure I understand earning in the binary. We earn a percent depending on what level we are at on
Yes,
everybody
that's
and
correct.
everything.
5% to 15%.
Okay, yeah, it depends on what package that you choose to
And
invest with.
you earn it on the lower leg. So if you have one side that's got 100 Bitcoin on it, and the other side has 50 Bitcoin on it, you're going to be paid on the 50 Bitcoin that week or that day. In the other one, there's 50 more Bitcoin for you to go pull off. So go refer some more people and have them come on and pull off the rest of it. But once these larger legs, the one side that's kind of just run away, that becomes your bank leg. That's the amount of money you're going to be able to get down the road. Just by continuing to refer people, you only have to build the other side, which is lower. And that's just the leg that you refer some. So every time you refer somebody there, you're absolutely going to get paid the following day. Anyway, that's the way it works. And they can bounce back and forth. One leg could be taking off and just be doing fantastic, and the other one can take off and overtake it. And now you're working on the other side. So they work together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, the nice thing about this program is you don't have to know a thing about Bitcoin. I'm learning. I'm getting an education really quickly because it is fascinating. But this program was designed, you know, so simply that William Portillo says even his grandmother can run it, you know, and I'm a grandma and I can run it. And it's just a very, very clean little system. You just sign up, you pay your Bitcoin, and you're in the system. You just keep those lower, you know, set to lower on your legs, and it all balances out just right. It's just, does anybody, can anybody, you just refer your link out and people can sign up with you? It's clean. It's the simplest program I've ever seen. Let's see. There is a Travis in the house. Where are you? Travis. I'm going to pick on you next. Travis, can you hear me? Can you speak, Travis? Well, I'm just going to give you a shout out. I was kind of told to pick on you to see if you had any questions or anything. So if you do, let us know. Okay. Well, we're running kind of long, John.
Okay.
When are we when will we be back again?
Monday. Back here Monday evening. No, Monday at noon. William Portillo will do a presentation. Then we'll be back at 6 o'clock for a presentation. And then Humberto is going to do one in Spanish at 7, all Pacific times. Now, I don't know, aren't they? They're going to Las Vegas, right? They're doing a meeting? Are they going to do a presentation from their meeting? Do you know?
I suppose so. I know William is doing. He has a call that he does early in the morning, 7 o'clock Spanish, 8 o'clock English. Then he comes back at noon Pacific time for an English presentation with the Spanish one to follow. And then at 6 o'clock, these are Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock, John comes back. And at 7 o'clock, Humberto has a Spanish presentation. So get back with the person that invited you here tonight. They'll be happy to get you going. And you're going to love this. You're absolutely going to love this little program.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And you guys have a great evening. And you can join our Facebook group, have the person that invited you here. We have a Facebook group. We also have a Skype group and a WhatsApp group. So we are all over the place. This thing is exploding so fast that we're doing like 6 presentations a day, I think. So go out and bring all your friends back, and we'll be happy to show them what's up too.
Okay, bye-bye. We'll see you later.
All right, thank you guys. God bless you. Good night.